appropriator and as a member of the Intelligence Committee, I attended meetings at the White House many times. But this was different. As President Bush graciously welcomed me, all of a sudden I felt very closed into my seat. There I was with Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Lucretia Mott, Alice Paul, all the suffragists who fought so hard for the right to vote. And as they sat with me on that chair, I could hear them say, "At last we have a seat at the table." And my first thought was, we want more. Today, remarkably, in the same Congress that will mark 100 years since women won the right to vote, we serve with more than 100 women members, and with a woman speaker. There is nothing more wholesome for our democracy than the increased participation and leadership of women in politics and government. The women of the 116th Congress have made history, and now they are making progress. Just like the suffragists of the past, the trailblazing women of the 116th Congress are fighting to ensure that every freedom, every liberty, and every right belongs to every American, including the right to be heard at the ballot box, which is the mainstay of our democracy. The suffragist cause continues in our fight against blatantly partisan, morally wrong voter suppression efforts that target communities of color. Today, much more remains to be done to bring our nation closer to its founding promise of equality. We must defend and strengthen the progress we have made on equal pay for equal work, affordable child care, quality health care, and other pillars of health and economic security for women and families. And to do that, we need every woman to be able to exercise her right to vote. As we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, we must channel the same pioneering spirit of America's suffragists and rededicate ourselves to the important work left to be done to ensure that all can enjoy the blessings of liberty in America. Since my dear friend, the Honorable Geraldine Ferraro, wrote the original foreword to Part 1 of this book just over 20 years ago, much progress has been forged in the fight for equality. But it is my hope that 20 years from now, the foreword to this wonderful book will be written in a time when even more progress has been forged, and that it will be written by a woman in the White House. Victory for the vote will help encourage that change, educating America about the struggle for suffrage and engaging and empowering the next generation of history makers and game changers to make a difference. Together, we must continue our progress for women and for the cause of equality, because when women succeed, America succeeds. Part 1. The Fight for the Vote. Chapter 1. In the Beginning, 1637 to 1840. It was a tiny ad placed in an obscure newspaper, the Seneca County Courier, a weekly paper delivered to farms in the cold country of upstate New York, ran just 3 sentences in its edition for July 14, 1848. The simple announcement invited women to a discussion of the social, civil, and religious rights of women. This little news release shook the earth. From the tiny town of Seneca Falls in 1848, a mighty flood of disruptive ideas reached around the world and into the 21st century. The global expansion of human rights for women, the notion that women are full human beings and that women's rights are human rights, began here, in a little country church that we, the recipients of hard-fought victories, thoughtlessly have allowed to be destroyed. Ideas live on after buildings go, however, and the voices of these women still echo with words we need to hear. Why Seneca Falls, New York? Why July 1848? The answer, of course, is that ideas find their time and place in people. The unpretentious circumstances of many women's lives, however, often obscure the power of their minds. We may find it difficult to believe that culture-changing concepts can emerge from a tea table in a country kitchen, but the